For Spillett.
Thank you very much, Mr Deputy Speaker. Wednesday, April the 30th, marked 50 years since South Vietnam surrendered to Communist North Vietnam in 1975. This event marked the end of a devastating 20-year conflict that claimed millions of lives, including the lives of 521 Australians who served with courage and honour. The fall of Saigon changed lives forever and resulted in a flood of refugees, men, women and children, leaving their place of birth in search for a safer life for themselves and their families. The first refugee boat to arrive in Darwin Harbour landed on the 26th of April 1976. On board were 5 young friends. It was skippered by 𝙍𝙀𝙇𝙼𝙍 Lam and his brother Lam Binh. They were not sailors by trade, that they taught themselves navigation as part of their escape plan. Their original map was nothing more than a page torn from a school atlas, and while a better map was acquired later, it extended no further than Timor. They sailed the rest of the journey by dead reckoning. Their determination and courage is an incredible story of survival across 3,500 kilometres of treacherous seas to Darwin. 𝙍𝙀𝙇𝙼𝙍 Lam, brother Lam Binh and their 3 friends were greeted by immigration officials who boarded their boat in Darwin Harbour. Their arrival marked the beginning of a new chapter, not only for them but for Australia. They sought permission to stay in Australia, and Darwin has been their home ever since. After securing work on a construction site, building new homes after Cyclone Tracy, 𝙍𝙀𝙇𝙼𝙍 Lam was given a visa and allowed to stay. For many years, he worked multiple jobs, including in a takeaway shop, prawn factory, and at the casino, before becoming a restaurateur, always starting what he calls his multicultural family, with his wife being born in Timor and his daughters born in Darwin. 𝙍𝙀𝙇𝙼𝙍 Lam is now 69 years old, but his memories are still clear of the clandestine operation that he, his family and 3 friends embarked on in their perilous dash for freedom. The Lam family left Vietnam under the cover of darkness, armed with their school atlas map. It was a journey across the Southeast Asia with stops in Thailand, Malaysia and Singapore. Mr Lam's family stayed in Thailand, and he and his brother, along with the 3 friends, weathered a cyclone as they continued on through Malaysia and Singapore, aiming to reach America. It was an Australian fisherman who told the 5 to make the safer journey to Australia, which they did. Nowadays, Mr Lam has a good relationship with his former country, welcoming Vietnamese delegations and has returned to Vietnam to promote tourism, but he's firmly settled here in Darwin, with 3 generations of his family residing here. Mr Deputy Speaker, the Northern Territory is one of Australia's most culturally diverse places. There are more than 100 nationalities and around 140 social, cultural and religious organisations. Migrants have contributed enormously to the Northern Territory's economy and culture, and in particular our Asian migrants. It is people like 𝙍𝙀𝙇𝙼𝙍 Lam and his beautiful family who make the Territory the rich, welcoming, culturally diverse place we all love. On behalf of this House, I thank Mr Lam for his extraordinary courage, his resilience and his unwavering contribution to the Northern Territory. Thank you, 𝙍𝙀𝙇𝙼𝙍 Lam, for choosing Darwin as your forever home for you and your family. Mr Deputy Speaker, I rise today to honour the extraordinary life and service of Flight Lieutenant Brian Winspear, OAM, a proud veteran of the Royal Australian Air Force, a successful businessman and a cherished member of our national community. Brian passed away recently at the remarkable age of 104. He was one of the last veterans who experienced the first bombing of Darwin on the 19th of February 1942, a day forever etched in our nation's history. Brian enlisted in 1939, donning the blue of the Royal Australian Air Force with a youthful spirit, joking later that he hoped it might impress the girls. But behind the humour was a man of immense courage who served as a gunner in some of the most dangerous roles in our Air Force. He saw combat, suffered loss and lived through the horrors of war with grace and humility. On that fateful morning in 1942, as Japanese bombers and Zero fighters unleashed their fury on Darwin, Brian's aircraft was among the last to land. A second raid targeted the RAF base, and Brian saw it all from a trench with his steel helmet on as 188 enemy aircraft destroyed ships, aircrafts and lives. That day, 236 people were killed, 11 ships sunk and 30 aircraft destroyed, an attack that brought war to our own shores. Brian later guarded Hajime Hoyoshima, the first Japanese prisoner of war captured on Australian soil, and one of the leaders of the infamous Cowra breakout. Recommended for officer training, Brian completed the war flying patrols from New Guinea and around our coastline. Brian Winspear did not rest on his laurels at the end of the war. He built a successful tourism business, Innkeepers, that spanned 5 states and employed many. In 1993, he was awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia for his contributions to tourism and the community. Notably, Brian was instrumental in ensuring the memory of his fallen comrades lived on. He personally lobbied for a memorial plaque on Darwin's Esplanade to honour those who served alongside him. He kept meticulous lists of those lost, refusing to let their sacrifices be forgotten. He later wrote about it all in Tasmanians in the Air, which he co-edited, and My Backseat War. A regular and much-loved attendee at the 19 February commemoration each year, the anniversary of the bombing of Darwin. Brian wore his old uniform with pride and was always willing to speak to the media and Territorians about his service, ensuring the next generations would never forget. He is survived by 6 children, numerous grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and the enduring gratitude of our nation. Today I place on the public record in Hansard our gratitude for Brian Winspear's service, resilience and lifelong contribution to Australia. His memory will remain a beacon of courage, honour and humble service, lest we forget.